Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. If you like the video today, please come and share it. We surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. Today, we're going to highlight the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to give you the 2023 season preview. Today, joining me, young man coming out of Ruston, Louisiana, by way of Graham, Louisiana. He's been a contributor here on 100 Yards of Football over the last couple of weeks. Today he's going to help me break down the Dallas Cowboys, my man, Mr. Tommie Woods. So, if you like the video this morning, please come in and share it. I'd like to give special thanks to our producer, Mr. Jeremiah Long, that's making it happen this morning here on 100 Yards Football. So, Mr. Woods, how you doing this morning here on 100 Yards of Football?
Good morning, Vincent. I'm doing well, man. Thanks for asking. Another blessed day.
Okay, let's get to it.
Yes,
we got a lot of Dallas Cowboys followers here on 100 Yards of Football. So it's Cowboy Nation time, 2023.
Yes, sir.
Going back to 1992, 1996, 3 Super Bowls and 4 seasons. Let's talk about that outlook for 2023. And the first question I have for you this morning, what would be the biggest challenge the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff will have prior to the preseason?
Well, the biggest challenge is, as you know, last year, Dallas had a lot of injuries. Dak got his thumb, had a fracture of his thumb. We know that Tony Pollard got hurt in the playoffs, which possibly cost Dallas the playoff game. Also, they had some other injuries. You had Joey Gallup, who was coming off of a ACL injury. But their biggest task is to get these guys healthy, get them through. They've already got through OTAs. And now we got, they're getting ready for the preseason. So the biggest thing is trying to get these guys through injuries. And, Dallas did a great job in the draft because for its depth, they went ahead and picked up Deuce out of Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State University. Very, very good running back, running in between the tackles. A lot of time this guy, when he disappears amongst the linemen, but once he gets that second level, he gets out. It's really tough to try to contain him. Also, they picked up an offensive lineman out of North Carolina, Mr. Asim Richards, and he could play guard or tackle, which is going to protect Dak a whole lot more. This is going to give Dak some extra time to be able to view the field and be able to pass, in the passing lanes. Also, they picked up a wide receiver. They picked up another fullback for blocking. But the biggest task, I think, is going to be the coaches getting Tony Pollard ready, because he's going to be the number one back this year. And he's going to not only have to take on the rushing duties, but he's going to have to take on blocking duties. But I think he's going to do well. We got to just a lot of that is that just really keeping him healthy, Dak as well, because this is how the Cowboys offense is going to be run. And, we all talk about how speed kills, and Dallas is going to be a really tough team to handle on both sides of the ball, because Dallas has a lot of great speed.
When I look at the Dallas Cowboys in 2023, I look at it as that expectations went to another level. Last year, they went 12-5. Basically, they went 12-5 the last 2 seasons, but they have not made it past the second round of the playoffs. Think about this. It's been 27 years since the Dallas Cowboys have played in their last Super Bowl. 27 years. They have not even reached the NFC title game. So there's pressure all over when you look at this Dallas Cowboys team. But to me, it's very simple. It starts at the quarterback position. Dak Prescott. Last year, he led the league in interceptions with 15. And to be honest about it, Mr. Tommie Woods, he just did not play in the big games.
Right.
The coaching, Mike McCartney. Make no bones. The pressure is on him. He's in his 3rd year. Kellen Moore's not the offensive coordinator anymore, so Mike McCartney is going to be calling plays. Now, one thing about Mike McCartney not taking on the offense, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys calling plays. He called plays for all 13 years while he was there in Green Bay. They finished in the top 3 offensively in 10 of his 13 years. Then you look at the running back position. Ezekiel Elliott is not there anymore. They decided he was making too much money. They said, hey, his production was declining. Tony Pollard came out of nowhere, had 1,007 yards, 12 touchdowns last season. He's now the main guy. But the key point to me, when you look at a football team, it's like the great Bobby Butler that's on our show here, 100 Yards Football. He said you can get all the toys. You can have all the great playmakers on offense, all the great wide receivers. CD Lamb last year had over 1,300 yards, 107 receptions, 9 touchdowns. But the key of it is, for any championship team, you got to build on both lines of the scrimmage. Dallas offensive line over the last few years, I'm going to say the last 2 years, have not played up to Cowboys expectations. If you go back to the 1992 seasons to 1996, the Cowboys offensive line, even though they had all those great players offensively from Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, but they had Eric Williams. They had Nate Newton. They had Mark Tournay. They had Larry Allen. That line right there is still considered one of the greatest all time in the National Football League. And that produced 3 Super Bowls in 4 years for the Dallas Cowboys. And then on the defensive side of the ball, think about it, they had Russell Maryland. They had Jimmy Jones. They had Chad Hennings. They had Tony Casillas. They had Charles Haley. They had Tony Tolbert. When you got lines like that, you're going to win Super Bowls. And to me, that's always been the Cowboys' way. And if Dallas is going to make a move really this year and win the NFC East and go beyond that, and we're talking about the Super Bowl this year is playing in Las Vegas, they both lines of the scrimmage got to play very, very well. Offensively, like I said, Tony Pollard is going to be the new man. Hopefully he can take up what what Ezekiel Elliott didn't do. A lot of people want to really throw Ezekiel Elliott on the bus, but let's look at this from a really, really serious standpoint. In his years in Dallas, he did lead the league in rushing 2 of his years there playing. But it was about the offensive line was inconsistent. And when you're inconsistent, your running game is going to suffer. And it goes back to the quarterback position one more time. Dak Prescott last year, make no bones, he regressed a little bit. He led the league in interceptions with 15, and he did not play well in big games. Now, Dallas has got everything around him from an offensive standpoint. CD Lamb, let me repeat his stats again, 107 receptions for 1,359 yards and 9 touchdowns. They bring in Brandon Cooks, former first-round draft pick from the New Orleans Saints by way of the LA Rams. He's going to replace a lot of problems they had in the slot. But the offensive line, that's my main concern offensively. Tyron Smith, who's played outstanding over his career in Dallas, but he's starting to break down and get hurt. Tyler Smith, last year I thought played at a very high level. Remember this, Zach Martin is now 32 years old. So the Cowboys offensive line, if the Cowboys are going to make a move, Dak Prescott, of course, it has to play much better. But the offensive line has got to protect him, and the offensive line has got to do better in run blocking. Defensively, I want to thank the Dallas Cowboys organization. I'm going to leave it at this. They finally drafted a D lineman in the first round. You know the last time they done that, Mr. Tommie Woods? 1991. Wow. Overall, Russell Maryland out of the University of Miami. And we know who his father is. We're not going to say that here on one of the football today. And think about when Dallas took him number 1 overall. Mm-hmm. It produced 3 Super Bowl rings in 4 years. Dallas was one of the better teams against the run, and it kind of stabilized the Cowboys, I want to say, defense during that time. And think about their first Super Bowl. That defense forced 9 turnovers, and a lot of that happened because of the D-line played very well that afternoon. Michael Parsons, there's no question about it. He's one of the most elite talents in the league defensively. 26 sacks, 56 quarterback hits, 33 tackles for loss in 2 seasons. That's putting up some serious numbers. As I always say, he is the best defensive football player I've seen come in this league since in 1981. The young man that came out of North Carolina went by the initials LT, Lawrence Taylor, out of Williamsburg, North Carolina University. The Cowboys can rush the passer. DeMarcus Lawrence, even though he's getting older, he still got some juice. 6 sacks last year. Sam Williams, last year, 3rd-round pick out of Ole Miss, is going to be a pretty good football player. But what I like what the Cowboys did, they got the young man out of the University of Michigan, Mr. Smith. I'm going to call him Mr. Smith today. And I hope that will really take up a lot of their problems, ability to stop the run. Because remember this, in the games the Cowboys lost last year, they had a lot of problems stopping the run. Their secondary is going to be the strongest strength for their team. I do have a problem, as I sign off today, Trayvon Diggs played excellent 2 seasons ago, had 11 INTs, but last year only had 3 INTs, but he did give up some plays in the passing game. Dallas made a key acquisition bringing over Stephon Gilmore. Even though Stephon Gilmore is 33 years old, but he still plays at a high level. Remember, this is a guy that's the 2019 NFL Defensive Player of the Year playing with the New England Patriots. So overall, when you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys football team this year, it's very simple to me. The expectations are very high. You got several people that's on the hot seat, starting with the head coach, Mike McCarthy. You got the offense yourself, sir, and you know what this is about. Mike McCarthy was hired to win a Super Bowl in Dallas. It's no bones about that. The quarterback, Dak Prescott, you got paid 2 seasons ago, man. I'm hanging in there with you. I was very critical of some games that you played in last year because I think you was pressing. I especially go back to the playoff game when you threw that critical pick when the score was tied 6-6. And you threw that pick and San Francisco went down in that playoff game, 2nd-round playoff game, and kicked a field goal and went up 9-6. That changed the whole complex of that football game. And think about this. Dak has still got a lot of that $59 million guaranteed. I'm really going to say this from Cowboys Nation. If the Cowboys don't make it to the NFC title game, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a change at the quarterback position. And it's no question about it. Mike McCarthy, if he doesn't get Dallas past the 2nd round, he will not be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Very simple. This team has got a lot of talent, playmakers on both sides of the ball. CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Michael Gallup, as you brought up, Mr. Tommie Woods. You still got one of the best young offensive linemen in the game, Tyler Smith. Defensively, Michael Parsons, the second coming of Lawrence Taylor. Pass rushes all over the place. Let me throw Doris Armstrong in there. He had 8.5 sacks last year. This is really a very solid, stable, talented football team that can challenge the Philadelphia Eagles for the Eastern Division. Mr. Woods, your final words about the overlook of the Cowboys going here into 2023.
Well, I was looking at what they did last year, and I think one of the impact players surely for the offense is going to be Kevontae Turpin. This young man prepped at Neville High School in Monroe, Louisiana. He went to college at TCU, and this guy was he was the MVP of the USFL the first year prior to coming to the Cowboys. This guy is a human highlight. I feel like that the Cowboys are going to have to use him more on 2nd and 3rd down to sort of stretch the defenses, get the linebackers from not, just staying at home. I feel like that this guy has not got in and got a chance to make enough plays because this guy can get the fans up out of their seats. We saw that last year. He had 2. He had a punt return for over 50 yards. He had another kickoff return for over 50 yards. And this is the guy that, they're going to have to get involved in their offense. That's going to help Tony Pollard out. It's going to help the tight ends out. This guy can be a matchup nightmare. And I feel like if the Cowboys would involve him more in their offense, I feel like they're gonna fall well. They're gonna fall better, surely against Philly, because Philly has a fast defense. But like I said, Dallas has been blessed with some great draft picks this year. That's going to also help out with that. Like I said, Deuce Vaughn, they picked up a fullback for blocking. But I think the offensive side of the ball, and with that, I think last year what they did, they took, when Cooper Rush was really moving the team, I think they rushed Dak back too fast because, Dallas is pretty stable. They were playing really good football. And, when Dak got back in, he began to press, and when you begin to press, you begin to make mistakes. And, but I feel like this year, I'm with you. I'm riding with Dak. I know last year a lot of people said, let's get rid of him, but I think Dak is going to be okay. He's going to have to use his legs on a lot of the third down plays, third down with less than 5 yards to go. He's going to have to use his legs. If he doesn't have anybody to throw to, he's going to definitely have to use his legs. But the main thing is keeping him upright, keeping him healthy, keeping him injury-free. Same thing as Tony Pollard. But I'm just hoping that they could get Devontae Turpin and get him involved more in the offense, because I believe that on those second and third down, that's going to stretch the defense. That's going to make the linebackers, they're going to have to be on their toes, because I don't think there's a linebacker in the league that can stay with him. Also on the defensive side of the ball, like I said, Micah Parsons, he defensive player of the year, but they also picked up a young man out of the University of Texas, Demarion. I think it was Demarion Overshawn, and this guy, he's almost a prototype of Micah Parsons, and that's going to give Parsons a little bit of rest too. If the coaching staff can get this young man, get him ready for the depth chart. But I feel like Dallas, they should. I'm projecting the first 8 games. I'm projecting Dallas to be 6-2. I think the biggest thing is that Dallas is going to have to be a road warrior because a lot of the games the first half are on the road, and really starting the season off with the division foe, the New York Giants. And then you got the Jets that are coming in with Aaron Rodgers, and he's got a slew of wide receivers that he's able to throw to. The Cardinals are rebuilding, but still, any given Sunday, you can drop your guard down, you can get beat. New England is going to be a pretty tough game also, but one of the determining factors in the first half is going to be that this may be a team that the Cowboys may see in the playoffs, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. And Dallas has had some issues, just like they did last year. But I think if Dallas can stay healthy, I think they're going to be able to play with them. And I do believe that if Dallas can either split or sweep Philly, I feel like Dallas will win the NFC East championship.
If you liked the video today, please come in and share. You heard the final words of Mr. Tommie Woods as he broke down the Dallas Cowboys in a 2023 season preview. I'd like to give special thanks today to the gentleman that made it happen, Mr. Jeremiah Long. Outstanding job today. I really want to say thank you and appreciate you. To the team here at 100 Yards Football, Mr. Bobby Butler, thank you. Atlanta Falcons, great Florida State in the house. Thank you to my business partner, Brooklyn, New York, Mr. Ronnie Keebler. Thank you to the voice who's done an outstanding job for us over the last few months, Mr. Mark Dunham. Thank you to our other social media guy that makes it happen on Wednesday for us, Mr. Logan Landers. And family, thank you for all your love, your contributions to here at 100 Yards Football. My man, Mr. Jim Maryland. I wouldn't be where I'm at. You've brought great blessings to this program over the last 3 months. My final words about the Dallas Cowboys. Listen up, Cowboys Nation. As I open the show today with our season preview, the Cowboys have won 12-5 the last 2 seasons. Back-to-back twin-win seasons. That hasn't happened since 92 to 96 when the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. You lost to the San Francisco 49ers the last 2 years. The bottom line, the expectations have went up. It's been 27 years. 27 years since the Cowboys have been to the Super Bowl and won one. I want you to listen to that, Cowboys Nation. It's been 27 years to the greatest fan base in America. To some people, the greatest owner in Jerry Jones. It's very simple, man. The organization coming in every year. If you're a Cowboys fan, if you're a gentleman that follows pro football, when the Dallas Cowboys open up their training camp, it's only one objective. It's getting to the Super Bowl. It's getting to the Super Bowl. Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, the great players, Mel Renfro, Cornell Green, Dandy Don Meredith, Roger Staubach, Ed Too Tall Jones, Drew Pearson, Tony Hill, Tony Dorsett, Jim Jeffcoat, Russell Maryland, Michael Irvin, Emmett Smith, Troy Aikman. It's no way. It's all about championships. That's what this organization has been built off of. That's why I've been a fan since I was 6 years old, since 1966. Bullet Bob Hayes. I don't have to say no more. This is a critical year for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, it's your team, man. $59 million you still got guaranteed on your contract. The Dallas Cowboys, when they named you starter in your rookie season, they was looking for you to lead this organization, including myself, for the next 10 years and bring us some Super Bowl rings. This year is critical for you, my man. And to the head coach, Mike McCartney. You was at Green Bay for 13 years. Your offense was in the top 3 10 of those seasons. Now you the head of the offense as the head coach. But the one thing you did in Green Bay, you won that chip, which is a Super Bowl ring. It's very simple, man. The Cowboys, they preach elite. They preach excellence. They preach being champions. Let me throw in Tony Tolbert also in that group of great former Cowboy football players, and Charles Haley. What I'm saying is, the reason I brought all those great players up is no way. It's no excuse. As long as I live being a Cowboys fan, it's always going to be Super Bowl or bust every year. Every year. So the Cowboys Nation, rise up, baby. 2023, the season is going to be on, and I'm expecting the Dallas Cowboys to be in Las Vegas, Nevada, playing in the Super Bowl. Thank you, and God bless here today on 100 Yards Football. And thank you to Mr. Tommie Woods, Rustin, Grammy Louisiana finest. Y'all be blessed here on 100 Yards of Football.